What's going on, everyone? Kings Dominion has finally made their big 2025 announcement. Rapterra is coming to the park. It's a B&M wing coaster replacing Volcano. We're here to talk all about it.
Yeah, we are clearly not at our studio, if you didn't notice. We are at Drayton Manor, standing in front of Gold Rush.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have more content coming soon, like a full analysis of Rapterra coming soon, but we want to talk just a little bit about it while we have some downtime, and we'll have some videos up from Gold Rush also coming out very soon.
Yeah.
But as of while we're here at the park, Kings Dominion has dropped the press release. They've released all the images, videos of the roller coaster, so the secret is out, and overall, it looks pretty solid. I know that there were some layouts and leaks that were done that, you know, kind of showed off what the layout is, so there's not really a whole lot of surprises. I would say the biggest surprise is honestly the name.
Yeah, so it was funny. We actually were sitting in the car one day, and we were going through a list online of, what was it, like Amazonian jungle birds? And trying to decipher which one would make a good coaster name. And I actually said Raptor as a joke, and you're like, oh, it can't be Raptor, because Raptor is Cedar Point.
And technically, I wasn't wrong.
So I'm wearing Cedar Point right now, actually.
They went with Rapterra, which, like,
close.
I think it's, I don't know. At first I was like, I don't really like the name, but I feel like it's gonna grow on us.
Rapterra.
Like, I don't think it's a bad name. I like that it's one word. I think that's very fitting.
What, you don't like long coaster names like Haggard's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure?
No, not at all. So, yeah. And I mean, Toonbeely was a cool, unique, quirky name.
You had to know it was going to be weird.
It was going to be something
right?
that was interesting.
It had to be.
Yeah, so just a couple stats for the ride. So it stands 145 feet tall, has 3,086 feet of track, so that makes it the tallest and longest launched wing coaster, which...
Very specific fact.
There's only two other candidates. One is a family wing coaster at Chessington, and then the other is Thunderbird at Holiday World. So that's really the one that they're beating out here.
Yeah, and the launch goes from 0 to 65 miles an hour in 4 seconds.
Yep, for
so
sure.
Pretty solid.
Yep, it says that there is 89 seconds of ride time, and it's set to open next year. Cedar Fair likes to open their rides with the park's opening day, and Kings Dominion typically opens like mid to end of March, and at the rate of construction that they're currently along, like that big first overbank is already done. So
I don't doubt they're going to be ready.
I think
really
that
don't.
Yeah, they're really pushing to have this thing ready, which I think is awesome. And it is also Kings Dominion's 50th anniversary next year. Which
isn't that perfect?
Yeah, very, very fitting.
So I know at like earlier stages of this, you expressed a bit of disappointment that it was going to be a wing coaster. Do you feel like your opinion is the same, different?
Yeah, so, I mean, my whole stance, I feel like, was that I actually really like the idea of a launch wing coaster at Kings Dominion. I think it is a very nice addition because, you know, Volcano is a launch coaster, so we're getting a new launch coaster in return. We're getting a ride that goes upside down. It's a different seating configuration. I personally would have put it somewhere else in the park. That's my whole thing. I feel like
it's like a thing where it's like, well, that's Volcano's spot.
Yeah, it's like
I'm like, this is rude.
Because it is Volcano, people are naturally going to draw the comparison of, is this better than Volcano? And frankly, I don't know the answer to that. I wouldn't be surprised if Volcano ends up still being my preferred ride, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't add, you know, another roller coaster somewhere else down the line in a different area of the park. They could still be a really, really good coaster. I just don't know if this is going to be as extreme or maybe as intense as Volcano.
Probably not. I mean, wing coasters are a lot more like gentle as far as like the forces are strong, right? You get a good amount of positive G's on them and everything. I think that this has, given the layout looks really, really good. I especially am interested in this 360-degree Raptor roll. What makes it a Raptor roll?
It's not.
It sounds like a type of sushi.
They just made it up.
Yeah, it probably. Yeah. But I think that this definitely has the possibility of being my new favorite wing coaster.
Okay. Yeah.
Because right now it's Thunderbird.
Yeah.
I really like because the thing is the idea of wing coasters doesn't really do a ton for me. So
Sure.
I think it's the launch that makes it for me.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that this is going to have that and it's going to be a bit bigger and the layout looks really awesome. Like I'm excited to ride it.
Yeah. There's two things with looking at this layout that I would say I'm not a huge fan of. I hesitate about the airtime hill towards the end of the ride because wing coasters typically don't have airtime. Like I think about the airtime hill in Gatekeeper, it doesn't really do a whole lot. So
there's an airtime hill in Gatekeeper.
There is, yeah. So this part, I'm like, I don't know about that. I also wish there was a near miss on this ride. I feel like that's a strong suit for wing coasters.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that they can't add one later on, but in the animation, we don't see a near miss on Rapterra, and I hope that there is.
Yeah, that is a little bit strange, especially given the fact that it's like a jungle theme. I think there's a lot you could have done thematically there.
Yeah.
To have some kind of keyhole or something. That's a good point.
There's something, a temple of some sorts, you know?
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but now that I'm thinking on the layout, you're right, there isn't any kind of near miss, and that's sort of the fun of it.
The
right?
closest you get is during the launch section, there are some pillars. Look like ruins, and I think that is a really nice touch, because I think originally in the plans there were talks that it was going to be like a show building, but then they scratched the show building and they said we're going to do pillars. I think that's fine, actually. I originally was disappointed that, oh, it won't be a Thunderbird style show building, but I think it's actually okay.
Yeah, and I think like the way that it's going to look in the park. I mean, we haven't been to King's Dominion in a bit, but I know people who have, and you know, seeing this massive B&M sprawling over that area is just great. It's an invited site.
It looks
I think it's
huge.
gonna be beautiful. Yeah, and it's gonna look gigantic in that like landscape because. Like, what else is like around it? I mean, Tumbili's not that tall. Right?
I would say another thing that's really stood out to me is that this has 5 cars per train, which is the same as Thunderbird. And I like the smaller trains because I feel like it means that you can take some of the elements a bit faster, maybe a little bit whippier. And so
you can do a little bit tighter too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to then compare it to the layout, which looks to be a larger layout. So maybe the elements, maybe the elements aren't as tight as some of the other wing coasters we've done. So I'm interested in seeing how the trains ride on that style of spread out element, like how it feels. You know, is it going to be like Thunderbird? Because the first half of Thunderbird are these big sweeping moments, but then Thunderbird gets tighter later on.
Yes, whereas this, like, pretty much the whole layout looks very elongated.
Drawn out, yeah.
Like, even, like, the back section before you, that's where, like, the Raptor roll is, and it looks, like, pretty wide, the area that you go through back there. So I imagine it's going to be more in the style of a classic wing coaster, but with a launch, and not so much like Thunderbird, where it's like in this tighter space where it's maneuvering all around itself, you know? It's more like one element is here, one element's all the way over here. Like, it's not a whole lot of overlap.
Yeah, so we'll have to see about that, but I love the color scheme that they went with, and I think it actually looks fantastic. All the pictures that I've seen. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. The trains in the animation look a little plain, I'm not gonna lie. They look kind of like, I feel like it should be some cool exotic bird. Like, that was the whole idea of the theme.
Well, it's a bird, isn't it?
And I really hope that maybe there's something else that comes from it, but as of right now, I don't think there is. I think it's gonna be these kind of plain looking trains.
Yeah, I think so too.
So it is what it is.
Hopefully they'll make up for it in theming in the area. I don't doubt it, because Jungle X is like definitely the nicest looking area of that park right now.
Absolutely.
So if they keep that up, and like, think about Tumbili.
Oh yeah.
The theming over there is amazing.
They did a really nice job with the queue.
If they can do that, then I think it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to see what ends up looking like with the queue. But there you go. Just some initial thoughts from Rapterra here coming to King's Dominion in 2025. Lot to look forward to. Again, there'll be a full analysis kind of going element by element coming soon. We're actually going back to America tomorrow as of when we're filming this, so we'll be able to get back to a bit more normalcy when it comes to like a video schedule.
After we get some much needed sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you don't want to wait, our Patreon has literally like every step of the trip covered. Like, there's on rides from pretty much every major coaster that we were able to film on, and travel updates day by day, and like mini reviews and stuff like that. So if you don't want to wait for like the full production and you're very eager, check it out. You can be on there for literally $2.
Yeah, absolutely.
So might as well, right?
Yeah, we really appreciate your support. The first vlog that'll be coming out will be from Emerald Park, but we're gonna post a couple others
That was the
beforehand.
same trip. That's
Emerald
insane.
Park, yeah.
Oh my God, that feels like a lifetime
We
ago.
left on July 5th, so it's absolutely crazy. But
and today, I don't even know what today is.
Today's July 31st.
Oh my
July
God.
31st. It's pretty nuts, yeah. But we have some awesome videos coming out from you guys very, very soon. So yeah, we appreciate you guys as always, and we'll see you next time.